Oh, I was muted. That's embarrassing. What is going on, everyone? How the heck are we doing today? Hope you're all doing beautiful. It is Wednesday, right? Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. It's 11:05 a.m. It's an early morning stream, and let me tell you why. Because I just found out that this dropped yesterday. I had no idea that this was a thing, and now we're going to read it. I haven't read a single lick of this, but the first chapter was, oh boy. The first chapter was A Time to Be Alive. It was something else, filled with AI art, tracing of other people's fan arts, terrible, not proofread dialogue, people thinking that characters died that didn't die, and then going back into the chapter and editing them out of the chapter because you legitimately thought that this character died. By the way, it's been 4 months and this is a group project, so keep that in mind when reading this. I mean, most fan projects like this almost always take forever. Even Attack on Titan No Requiem takes like months to produce a chapter, multiple months to years to produce a chapter. And 9 times out of 10, they're collecting money on Patreon the entire time. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure. I gotta do a whole bunch of research on that for this Attack on Titan video that I'm gonna be doing soon. So I'm super duper excited to learn more about that. But until then, I will be reacting to every single chapter that this group releases, because this is just comedy at this point. It's peak comedy, and it is it's free content slop. So I'm not gonna complain about it whatsoever. I'm never going to complain about getting free content slop. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the hell is going on in this series. These sus ads, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what ads you're getting. Your ad algorithm is not my ad algorithm, that's for sure. So far, Jujutsu No Kaisen has been a hollow shell of the original. I mean, are we surprised? Did we think it was going to be anything else but, to be honest with you, you know? I didn't have much hope at all. My ads are wild, bro. Damn. Clear your cache. Reset it. But yeah, we'll give it another 5 minutes or so before we get into the reaction. We'll give it a little time. We'll give it a little bit of time just for everyone to pop in. I just read this shit. My God. Toto's gonna solo Sukuna. Trust. Hey, listen. Toto got props from Sukuna right before Sukuna lost in the OG series, which is fucking crazy shit. The fact that like he was like, this man is a Jujutsu sorcerer. You're like, damn right, my boy Toto is. I imagine they do something different, but I guess you can't create good art from hate. Nope. You cannot create good art out of hate. You can create good art out of spite. You can't create good art out of hate. I think there's a key difference to that, for sure, 110%. But yeah, I mean, again, you would think they would do something more different, but what was all of the last chapter? Pretty much, you know, everything that we have already seen the original series do with just a little bit different dialogue. So I'm not entirely sure what you know, was even the point, and I'm sure that this chapter will be more of the same. And again, it seems that a lot of these fan endings, that's pretty much what they do. They don't come up with an entirely new way to end the story and an entirely alternative take. They just cherry pick and change small different things here or there, you know, to make it their perfect ending. Like, they literally, Attack on Titan No Requiem was the same thing. All of the same plot beats as the original series. And it's almost like, just with small dialogue changes. What was the difference? What is the point? I'm wondering why this rewrite is removing all the love and loneliness stuff, despite that being an important part of the story. Because the thing is incels don't like love and loneliness. It's the same reason that Sung Jin Woo crying over his mom waking up was review bombed and the lowest rated fucking episode of Solo Leveling, when literally that's like the peak of the moment that Sung Jin-woo saved his mom. That was the whole point that we did half the series for. Sorry if it's a spoiler, but fucking A. These people don't. The thing is everyone complains about characters and deep characters, and these characters got wasted, and these characters didn't follow up on their backstories. But you always wonder what, you know, but whenever you ask them what they wish happened, like, you know, you always get like what's, you know, of the equivalent of a 5-year-old's Wattpad fan fiction. You know, like, if you ever seriously, like, I think people like, do you remember when everyone wanted Gojo to come back, and the reasons for why Gojo needed to come back was because Gojo needed to bury Geto's body? What? That's why Gojo needs to come back? That's the only reason you need Gojo to come back, because he needs to bury Geto's body? What character, you know, depth does that add to everything? Why does he have to do that? It's just, you know, the most weird, vague, random things that, you know, you'll hear from people, and then it's the same people that will be like, I can write the story better. That's how you get things like Jujutsu no Kaisen. Listen, I'm not saying the ending is perfect. I know there's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, you know, he's glazing Gege, but, you know, I have my issues with the ending. If you've been here long enough, you know my issues with the ending. It's, you know, it's not perfect. No shonen anime does have a perfect ending, unfortunately. But I wouldn't think I could write a better story than Gege. I would hope to write a good, you know, as good of a story as Gege, maybe even better than Gege. I like to write. I'm a good writer. But I would never, like, you know, I would never be like, I could do so much better than this guy because he fucked up the story that I love so much. Nagi no Kaisen coming soon, baby. Yeah, I gotta write some shit for Loud. I'm actually gonna do that today. I'm gonna make it a reminder on my phone to do that later today. He managed to make Kashimo look even more pathetic than in canon, of course, and I'm sure one of his biggest concerns was making sure Kashimo didn't look weak. I don't know what, you know, this creative team, you know, what their feelings on the ending are. Obviously, they don't like it. I don't know what they had a specific issue with, but whether they're gonna make Gojo come back. Next, you're gonna tell me character development is a good thing. -1. -1 aura, indeed. All right, but guys, yeah, we're coming up on the 10-minute mark, so I do genuinely appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are all awesome people. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Sincerely appreciates the channel. Sincerely appreciates the channel. Wow. Jujutsu no Kaisen got me speaking in its own language. Please, it really helps the channel if you hit the like button. Anyway, let's just get into this and see what the hell was cooking. And like before, we'll read the introduction just to get an idea into the head of the creative team behind this. The Jujutsu Kaisen manga has ended, and who does not know it, the ending did not satisfy everyone, as there were many exciting events that would have formed a very wonderful ending, and I'm sure we will see them in this manga. I wonder why the original writer Gege didn't focus on it, with all due respect to him. So my group and I decided to change the ending and make it satisfy everyone. Yeah, you're really accomplishing that, guys. We will focus on accurate drawings. Ah, yes, like Ijichi being dead in the airplane, seeing Gojo off. Yeah, accurate drawings. Interesting events. And ideal scenarios while giving the characters their full rights. I thought about it carefully before making this decision. I'm sure you did. The new ending will start starting from chapter 236 because I saw it as fitting for the events I'm thinking of. I'm so excited to see your reaction after seeing my work. Oof. Dawn of a new finale. Good lord. This is chapter 1 part 2, sorry. So let's just refresh ourselves very quickly. Okay, I know this creator is probably not an English speaker, but this is a group project, so why couldn't you get an English translator? And that is exactly why I'll be making fun of every single grammar mistake and every single problem with the dialogue. Legitimately, if you want to talk all of this shit, you can't even hire someone to proofread and grammar check your work. You know, like, yeah, you're not a native English speaker. I'm sympathetic to that, right? English isn't your first language. I'm always going to be sympathetic to that. But you want to talk all this shit and then have a group project and then not have someone just proofread your dialogue is crazy to me. And the fucking, you know, the typos, you know, Satoru with 2 U's. Why? You know, I just you should have fixed that by now. The AI art, again, we're just refreshing ourselves with this awful nonsense. If you haven't read the first chapter with us before, it's been a long time. The fucking scared face. Just look at this, bro. Look at this. I know you're shocked to see your best friend again. It's rude to respond this way to someone you haven't seen in a long time. I thought you were fake Geto. Ah. This is true. This is my Gojo. My goats. Gojo and Geto. There they are. Finally. Fake Geto. Forget it. I missed you too, my friend. Follow me. To where? To a quiet place free of curses. Do you think curses were hindering my life? Just follow me. There are people waiting for you behind this door. Yaga, Haibara, Nanami, and okay, we're just gonna not mention Yuki. Again, funny. So Ichichi was literally in this original panel. It's on the first stream. If you want to see proof, he literally had Ichichi at the airport. Fake Geto, doesn't Gojo know Kenjaku's name? Oh yeah, of course. No one will hear you as long as you're behind the door. If you want to meet your friends and live in a quiet place, all you have to do is hold my hand and walk through the door with me. This remains your choice. It's been a long time. Welcome back. After defeating Gojo Satoru, Sukuna rightfully claims the title of the strongest ever after overcoming the most powerful individual of this era. You were magnificent, Satoru Gojo. I shall never forget you for as long as I live. He made things very easy for his students to win. Oh yeah? The Lightning Lord has intervened. Wow, we're just, the pacing is beautiful here. That face gets me every time. Oh boy. Kashimo Hajime. And Arame intervenes with a huge block of ice. I hate to say this, but I won't let you interfere because I made a promise. Ah, I don't care about that. What I care about is helping Sukuna. Ah, these are my true characters right here. The weapon that Yorozu gave to Sukuna as a gift before her death is inside the massive blocks of ice. Not old man Hikari. Oh no. Hikari's aged 30 fucking times. Since that was the downside of being locked inside of Rika. They all aged up. Massive ice chunk exploded directly above Sukuna, the weapon now in his hands. Is this not just the like this is the same plot point? Well, show me what you got now and attack with all your might. I'm glad I had the opportunity to fight the strongest of all. Be careful and do not underestimate my strength while you are like this. Stop talking and show me what you got. Oh yeah. Condom Kashimo. I forgot about Condom Kashimo. Why does this dude need to tell us everything that's happening in the panels? Because that's what these people think is better. Attack on Titan no Requiem did the exact same thing. That's the issue, is things like subtlety, leaving things up for, you know, reader interpretation. That's what people don't like in these stories. That's what people don't like in their shonen. They want quite literally everything spelled out to them. Where the editor, a nitpick I have, is calling it a weapon and not a curse tool. Trust me, there's more than just that wrong. They need to hire an editor. They don't have one is the issue. The pixelation of like just putting this drawing on the speed lines is so funny to me. Like you can see the and yeah, just they Attack on Titan no Requiem did the exact same thing where they have to literally either outright say the themes and the points of the story, or they have to explain it outright to you, or there's no subtlety. There are people who read JJK but didn't look into any of the symbolism throughout the story. It's because, you know, it's stuff like that. You know, they're not, it's too, unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but it's too high level, which says a lot for a, you know, a teen shonen magazine that really isn't too deep at all. Kashima with the tongue out. It's fast. Dodged it, throwing a kick, I think. Whoop. Literally the exact same thing that he does in the OG series. We're not even like changing the choreography at all. It was close. And he got behind him. This is such a legendary, like... This right here, really, I won't lie, this actually isn't that bad. Like, this is actually kind of cool. It's not awful, but it's not great, but it's actually not that bad right here. I'll give him that. Like, this is actually like, huh. It's a cool moment. And then we immediately lose all of it. You said, Gwa. Cubert ass. It was a powerful blow that required me to transform into my true form. Ah, thank you for telling us, Kashimo. I appreciate that. It was close. What was the point of that dialogue box? Yeah. The symbolism is hidden. That's why I exist. That true, Senshin, true. There's no way to escape from us. Us? You're two people? This is not possible. I expect anything from the King of Curses. Okay. Hold up, we reading trash today? Hell yeah. He survived due to the strange mouth that suddenly appeared in his abdomen. Ah. And absorbing all that vast energy. Wow, okay, the slow transformation. Well, that was just to catch us up on part 1. Guys, let's just get right into it, yeah? Jujutsu no Kaisen Chapter 1, Part 2. Released 4 months after the first part of Chapter 1. So right now we are only 2 parts into Chapter 1. Let's remember that, in 4 months. And however long it took them to do the first part. Quarterly releases. Poof. Poof. All right. I'm going to say this, why'd they pick this art style for the rewrite? At least AOT Requiem tried to keep the art style look similar to the original. True, that's definitely a credit you can give, you know, AOT no Requiem. They did their best to keep the style as faithful. You know, there's not even an attempt to keep the original flow. And granted, you know, if for a fan project, you don't necessarily have to, right? You definitely don't. It's not a requirement. It's your own. At the end of the day, it is these people's own work, and they're just going to do what they can, right? But still, you know, that's definitely a compliment you can give to AOT no Requiem, without a doubt. And Gege was ditching it out JJK weekly. That's what I mean, you know. They can't even make a good story with quarterly releases. Shadow Prophet, thank you for the dono. As someone who liked the ending, I can admit it has issues, but most of the people who complain about it don't read the manga, and only a few really do read it. It's true, yeah. The bar is in hell, yet JJK JJ no K is trying to be the limbo champion. Let's see what we've got cooking. This color panel is actually not that bad. Like, I'll give them that. Like, this is actually a cool, like, if this was just a random fan artwork, I would think this is good artwork. Like, this actually is not bad artwork. It's a shame it has to be tied to this awful project. Let's see what we're cooking with. A strange mouth appeared on his belly, and it sucked in that immense power. It is a new ability he has never used before. Thanks for telling us, Yuji. Or could it be? What could it be? I believe the fair fight is about to begin now. Maybe this guy's actually a martyr. He's throwing himself to the fire to prop up JJK. Yeah, he's pulling an Itachi. He's pulling a Lelouch. He's having all of us gang up and show us how bad Jujutsu Kaisen could have actually been, and be like, hey guys, after all of this, like, be like, this was a character study. You guys all appreciate the original ending now? Good. That was the point. Yuji finally became the average shonen protagonist. He learned reverse narration. Yo. That's such a good point. Here come the other arms. Schlorp. I imagine, for some reason, I imagine the fucking Sharingan eyes sound effect happening the moment he fucking opened his eyes there. The exact same panel from the original series. It said, yo, is that Owl? It might literally be. They might literally have just took Owl from Kagurabachi and made their own representation of it. That's literally what it looks like, honestly, Fractured Coconut. Those eyes are from the anime. Kashimo vs Sukuna, both in their true forms. That's a frame from the anime Mahito fight. I'm dead, bro. Chapter 1, Chapter 1, The King of Curses, Parte 2, the original work by Gege Akutami. I think you might need to reword that, my guy. This is what you need. This is why you need English translators to help you, because are you this looks like you're claiming that this is the original work by Gege Akutami, not that you're copywriting and saying the original work is by Gege Akutami. This is a fan work. This is why you need editors to help you, because you're gonna get accidentally sued or hit with a copyright strike because you quite literally didn't have your fucking dialogue proofread. Yeah, already fucking, already stealing shit, tracing, AI, it's just oof. And again, like, just doing everything that it's basically how it's already been done, just differently. The only thing different is Sukuna's transformed differently. Same panel, because again, they can't think of their own original stuff happening, right? They have to they quite literally only know Jujutsu Kaisen through Gege's work. For someone who read the manga from the leaks, this is not that bad, to be honest. Yeah, for someone who read the manga through the leaks, yeah. Sukuna growing those two arms look like Ben 10 turned into forearms. So true. What a powerful demonic force emanates from him. Ah, the grammar. The grammar. I will launch a direct attack with all my strength to end this quickly. Ha! Looks like a fucking monster. Honestly, outside of this being Jujutsu Kaisen, like this right here, I actually think is cool. Like, if I like this right here, not the whatever, but like this is actually sick. He's got a thing for Kashimo's tongue, indeed. Yeah, he does indeed. It's like venom. This this isn't like this is really not that bad. That suddenly got a lot worse. Again, if you weren't like, if this was divorced, I heard that panel is from Venom, it literally wouldn't surprise me. You could tell by the tongue. You could literally tell by the tongue. Yeah, like if this wasn't Kashimo and this wasn't supposed to be a Jujutsu Kaisen fan ending, like I would and you just posted this artwork and said, hey, look what I made, I'd be like, damn dog, you killed it. This is cool. But yeah. Don't overstep. Punched him in the gut, hit him with the fucking waffle cutter. No impact at all. He fucking screamed out, and then this panel has no impact whatsoever. Yeah, he cleaved his shirt. That's literally like what. There's no impact. Grabs him by the face and then he fucking launches him into the ground. Crack. Jump. And he's just beating the shit out of Kashimo. This is the actual manga made on a -1 budget. What is this? Is Kashimo a Looney Tunes character? How pathetic you are. That's why I'll end this quickly. Yeah, you did manage to make Kashimo literally look worse. You literally made Kashimo look worse. This is... I'm dead. He picks Kashimo with the top right arm, but throws him with his bottom right. I didn't even catch that. So true. I didn't even catch that. People complained. Remember when people were, didn't he say he would provide justice to Hajime? Yeah, probably. He probably did. I wouldn't even doubt it. Remember one of the biggest criticisms of Jujutsu Kaisen's ending was that Sukuna was Gege's self-insert, and Sukuna was too OP, and Sukuna was killing everyone too easily, and it was way too simple, and it was just went on for way too long. No one can kill Sukuna, and it's not even fun to read. And then this guy goes, "Don't worry, guys. I'll fix that for you." And then he just takes immediate. This is Sukuna glaze if I've ever seen it. Just giving Sukuna as much aura as possible and taking away all aura from Kashimo in this scene. The panel of him throwing him up into the air. Shock. And he die, and you kill him the exact same way with the waffle cutter. This is the... What are we changing? I guess my question for every single fucking every single fan manga like this, like what are you changing? What was your issue with the story? Because so far, your two parts have literally been the exact same story, just made worse. Literally copied everything from Gege so far. So, what did Gege do wrong? What did Gege do wrong? If you think Kashimo should have just gotten bodied in 2 seconds, what was your issue? You were unlucky to be the first to die at the hands of my original form in the modern era. Next. Yeah. Were you upset that Kashimo got backstory? Did nothing but omitted characterization. Yeah, literally, you did nothing but take out the character motivation and the character ending and how this ties in and makes sense for Kashimo as a person. And how Sukuna delivered him the answer that Kashimo was searching for. Like, that wasn't even a part of this fight, right? Like, the original fight of Kashimo versus Sukuna, Kashimo has been waiting to fight Sukuna because as someone that was the strongest in his era, he's wondering what the strongest of all of history was able to gain from this. Kashimo was unsatisfied, just almost similarly to Ishigori, right? Almost very similarly to Ishigori. Kashimo was unsatisfied being the strongest because he was never able to find someone that was like him. He was never able to meet someone that was on his level. And Kashimo, and to the point that Sukuna said Kashimo was lonely. Kashimo was so lonely, that's why he traversed history and traversed thousands of years, hundreds of years, however long it was, to take on the culling games, because he wanted a chance to find Sukuna, find the strongest sorcerer and ask him, hey, are you also alone? Are you also are you also dealing with the same struggle that I am? And when Sukuna kills Kashimo, Sukuna answers, he goes, your problem is you were never alone. All of those people that were fighting you and you killed, you gave them love. Like, in a weird, twisted way, you yourself were, you know, never alone. You always had people there challenging you and there for you. And Sukuna says, I reject that. I don't need to have someone on my side. I can be alone. I do what I want. I don't need a reason to do what I do. I'm going to do what I want and kill whoever I want, keep around whoever I want, and that's just what it is. And Kashimo goes, doesn't that get boring after a while? And then he dies. Do you see how much more characterization is in that and how much that makes sense to Kashimo as a character who quite literally showed up, and the whole reason he went to the Culling Games was to get that answer? And the author of Jujutsu No Kaisen forgot Gojo didn't appear for hundreds of chapters post Shibuya. No roll cutting slash, by the way. Right, we haven't even elaborated on that, right? Like, quite literally, like, we didn't even talk about, that's such a good point, Tiberius. I didn't even think about that. There wasn't even an explanation for how Gojo died. He just died. There wasn't even an explanation for how he died. It's easy to dismiss people who didn't like the ending as leak readers or lacking reading comprehension, but it's just so accurate for the dude that did this. Yeah. Again, I don't know how young this person is. This person could quite literally be 15, 16, and like maybe for their age, they're really out here doing some kind of crazy project, you know? Like, but yeah, it just, I don't know, man. I just don't. Jinwoo ass panel, yo, stop. Look at it. Look at the. That is it. That is quite literally it. It's already over. Look at it. Tiberius. He literally, yes. That literally, like, Tiberius. This is from the author's own Twitter page, by the way, right? The author's own Twitter. Like, it has to be a troll. There's no way. Absolute cinema. Like, this can't be real. I'm slowly starting to feel like this person, this all just one big troll. This has to be someone with a humiliation complex, or they're doing this as a joke. They're doing this for just, this might be the ultimate rage bait of all time. People think I'm a Jujutsu Kaisen rage baiter. This is, hats off to this guy. Hats off to this guy. The new events of the new ending will begin in the next chapter, which will be published in the coming days, so don't judge a book by its cover. The new events, right? What was new here, dog? Half their tweets are calling their own panels absolute cinema. That's what I mean. Like, this can't be real. The fuck? Are you ready for the return of the alternate ending? A fan-made project that does not diminish the brilliance of the original events, with all due respect and appreciation for the original author, Gege Akutami. What's coming will be even better. Just trust us. The reason for our delay is the lack of any sponsors for this project, meaning we are working without any financial support. However, despite all of this, I will do my utmost to create an amazing fan work for you. Stay tuned for part 2 of chapter 1 coming soon. Dog. Should I sponsor them? Should I give them a donation so they can do their work faster and pump this out? We need more. I'm sorry. I need part 3 right away. What? Yeah, this gotta be a troll. Look at what he's posting. Dog, that is not even the same sketch. Dog, that's not even the same. That's what? Huh? I will block you if you sponsor them. This is not even the same drawing. Why Photoshop in a PNG later if you can just draw it like that? That's what I kind of mean. My next video, how Jujutsu no Kaisen was right. Yo, I'm gonna make my own JJK fan manga. Yo, honestly, the no-op leaks just need to come back. That's really what it is, guys. I figured out the issue here. This guy was reading the no-op leaks. That was the issue. Don't worry. I'm gonna do Kashimo justice, all right? Here we go. I already got Kashimo's face done. See? I didn't need 4 months for this. I didn't need 4 months for this. I didn't need 4 months for this. I can't match such artistic talents. Most people can't, Jacob. Don't feel bad. Most people can't. Wait. Yeah, I'd put the tongue. Gotta do the tongue, right? Can't forget the tongue. Kashimo loves the tongue, right? That's the Kashimo we know and love. All right, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Where is it? Where's the panel? All right, hold on. See, you didn't need 4 months for that. You didn't need 4 months for that. Come on. Look at it. Come on. Now, right, blah. Yeah, blah. Bleh. Like we're in a fucking metal fucking show. Bleh. I want to suck your blood. Bleh. Give him some fucking vampire teeth over here. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Yeah. I can't. What the fuck? Listen. Okay. Listen. I'm making fun of this project, but I do want to make it very clear right now. The person that drew this is talented, right? The person, okay. If this isn't AI and they actually had someone draw this work, whoever drew this is talented. I want to make that very clear, right? Unless they traced or they did whatever, I don't want to talk shit on the artist because, like I said, if you were to drop that without having it attached to Kashimo, or like someone was like, hey, this is my Kashimo artwork, I'd even be like, hey, I like your interpretation. I like your style. Genuinely. Like, literally. You got to thank the original artist from the actual series. So true. Yeah. Whoever drew this Venom panel that they traced over. So is next chapter going to be Higuruma? Or, you know what? Honestly, probably. Next chapter will most likely be the exact same thing that happened in the actual manga. I don't think anything is going to change by any means. I think this person is quite literally just going to just do the same thing Gege did over and over and over again. Takaba vs. Kenny incoming peak Senshin. This person is not doing Takaba versus Kenjaku. There's no way. And if they do, it's going to be one part and they're going to skip right over it. Only people with culture know the peak of Takaba vs. Kenjaku, okay? Only fans, Jujutsu Kaisen fans of culture like Takaba versus Kenjaku, or you know, same crowd of people that liked Megami versus Reggie before it was cool. Remember when people were hating on Megami versus Reggie? Remember when people were saying that fight was dog buns? That fight was good. That was a nice fight. Is it sad that that was Megami's last fight? Yeah, a little bit. If he does it, I think Kenjaku will just immediately kill Takaba and start the merger or something. Yeah, that seems most likely, to be completely honest with you. That seems so likely. I am indeed a Kenjaku versus Takaba enjoyer. You can't take that away from me. That fight was something else, man. Something else entirely. People were hating Megami versus Reggie. Yes, 110%. That's one thing that I do, like, genuinely do enjoy. Person's not creative enough to do something like Kenjaku versus Takaba. So true. So fucking true. Say what you will about Kenjaku versus Takaba, but that was a creative-ass shonen manga fight. Whatever you want to say. Like I said, even if you don't like it, that's fine. I wouldn't even be upset that you don't like it. Again, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, obviously. I would never be upset that you didn't like something that I liked, but the idea is, like, it truly was, like, a creative endeavor. Like, you know? But yeah, one thing that I do enjoy about, like, being with the Jujutsu Kaisen community since, I think, like, chapter 139, Jujutsu Kaisen went on hiatus. I think the first chapter I read, because I finished season 1, and I caught all the way up to, I think, chapter 139. And then I read weekly from that point on. So I think since chapter 140 and on, I was a weekly Jujutsu Kaisen reader. And yeah, people did not like Megami vs. Reggie. People were clowning on Megami vs. Reggie completely. Read since chapter 3, damn, now that's OG. I won't pretend like I wasn't a dirty anime only for season 1. I was introduced to Jujutsu Kaisen when the anime first came out because I saw a bunch of hype videos that people were hyping it up when the anime was coming. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, okay. I watched like the second episode. I was like, damn, I'm interested. And then I think the Nobara episode happened. And then funnily enough, right before Fearsome Womb, I stopped. I took a break because I was like, this seems like a cool idea, but I'll give it a little bit to cook. And then I remember, funnily enough, I literally remember to this day, I'll never forget, Amanda, my girlfriend, had some friends over, and she wanted to have like a girls' night or whatever. This is back when I was in the old apartment, for those that remember. And she was like, hey, you know, can you just hang out upstairs while I hang out with the girls? 110%. And I remember, like, I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know, this is before I was a content creator. This is before, you know, whatever, you know, I didn't have anything to do at the time. I literally just fucking worked at Best Buy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna catch up on this anime, you know? I barely watched anime at that time, because I kind of fell off. I loved anime manga when I was young. And then when I was like 16, 17, I started going out, you know, smoking weed and just fucking, you know, doing average teenage delinquent shit. So I kind of stopped watching anime. And I didn't start watching anime again until I was like, wow, until COVID happened. Literally until COVID happened. Read the manga before the anime, but what got me into it was me thinking Momo would be OP. That's so funny. Read it because Sakuna's tattoos look like Kamina's. That's so crazy. But yeah, I didn't watch anime again until COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, Best Buy wasn't allowed to have customers in the store. We had to do outside pickup. For if anybody was, you know, obviously all you guys dealt with COVID. If any guys were in COVID in America at the time, if you had to go to a store or anything, you remember how crazy that shit was. You couldn't go in the store. The people, you had to like order it, and then the people would like give it to you on the way out or some shit. Like times were crazy back then. So yeah, I was working at Best Buy at that time, and when it first started, our managers still didn't know what we were allowed to do and what we weren't, so they basically did all of the work and we were just sitting around doing nothing. And my friend at the time was my friend at the time was like, hey man, like I'm a really big Demon Slayer fan, like you like anime? I'm like, you know, I used to watch anime, I haven't really seen it in a long time. He's like, come on bro, like let's hook up the TV in the back. We worked at a Best Buy, so let's hook up one of the TVs in the back and let's just watch Demon Slayer. And I was like, all right, watch Demon Slayer, and I think I was hooked after episode 1. I was like, damn, okay. And then I watched up to episode 3, and then the moment Tanjiro sliced the boulder in half, I was like, this is cinema. I'm into it. I'm fucking into it. And then they they sent us on, you know, paid leave because the store was closed. So I was literally getting paid to sit at home for like 2 months, 3 months, I think, during COVID. So quite literally, there was nothing to do. So what did I do? I fucking watched all of season 1 in Demon Slayer, because season 1 was already out. Season 1 was already done at that point. I think it had like just finished, and that was it. I watched the whole season while Amanda played her Animal Crossing, and then yeah, I got back into anime again. So I watched Demon Slayer, and then I don't think I got back into another big anime until Jujutsu Kaisen. And then once I started doing content creation for Jujutsu Kaisen, it was pretty much over. I started reading manga again, started getting into all these different animes again, and yeah. But I mean, my first anime realistically was like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and shit like that, you know, but realistically what got me hooked was Naruto when I was like 12, 13. I remember staying up late when Naruto dropped on Toonami for the very first time, and yeah. That first episode of Naruto had me up all night. The amount of dopamine that was flowing through my body and adrenaline was crazy. That first episode of Naruto when I was like 12 years old. Not even, I was like 8. I'm sorry. I was like 7, 8 when that came out. I'm sorry. Naruto came out when I was like 8. Check out Gurren Lagann. Yeah, I need to. Gurren Lagann is one I actually haven't watched. I know I need to get into that. I'm sure your list of shit to watch is crazy long. Hey, listen, I'm trying to get through it, especially now that we got the reaction channel. Don't forget that exists, y'all. Especially now that we got that, that's my excuse to start catching up on shit that I haven't watched. Like I started watching Fire Force, I started watching Invincible. So yeah, guys, I mean, I'm gonna upload that as soon as I can, but don't forget that I got this going on. So, you know, I'm watching Devil May Cry currently. Also, you got the Patreon, you know. Because I only have 2 stuff. I only have the 2 Devil May Cry episodes on YouTube, because editing them for YouTube is a lot more work, but you know, I got all 4 episodes of DMC. I got first 2 episodes of Invincible, first 2 episodes of Fire Force I'm going into. So yeah, you know, obviously if you're not interested in that, don't worry about it, but yeah, no, I'm trying to catch up on my watch list, and if this is the way that I'm able to get myself to do it, then fuck it. It's the way that I'm able to get myself to do it. Why do people hate the DMC Netflix? Please let me know if you don't like it, bro, so I block you. Like what? Oh, what? I don't even know what you're asking. What are your thoughts on Tokyo Ghoul so far? I'm enjoying it. Why do people hate? The Tokyo Ghoul for me has turned around the moment we hit Cochlea Raid. The moment we hit Cochlea Raid in like that has recontextualized a lot of that series for me. So I'm excited to keep going through it, honestly. We're gonna have a members read through tonight. I'm still gonna do that for sure. Yeah, I gotta watch Gurren Lagann. I'm sure I'll love Gurren Lagann. I would be so surprised that if I didn't like Gurren Lagann. There's another chapter. Yeah, I know these people didn't stop, unfortunately. If you want to go back and react to it with us, just go back in the VOD. We did already react to it. We're probably going to enter wind down phase in a little bit, because I do have a lot of editing on PBS Moons I got to get done today. But to answer your question of why people hate the Devil May Cry Netflix, it's because people just don't like good things. I really don't know what to tell you. Netflix May Cry is a mixed bag. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that 110%. I'm only 4 episodes in. I'm only halfway through, and you know what? I do understand a lot of people's issues with the anime. I think I just tend to be a little bit more forgiving for certain things. Like, I definitely understand a lot of the, like, the quote-unquote power scaling, like, of, like, certain characters doesn't really make too much sense at all. And I know that, like I said, I haven't finished it yet, but I know a lot of people aren't satisfied with the ending. Probably people that just ain't used to Johnny being Dante's new voice actor. It was definitely interesting, but I think he did a really good job for the first 4 episodes. Like, I kind of got over it almost immediately in the first episode. Just because you can tell he's really having fun with the character, and it really doesn't, he's not doing the same voice as he does for Nero, right? He definitely is doing like his own thing, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I know a lot of people said like the emotional aspect of Dante was kind of lacking, and towards the end. I haven't finished the series yet. I know a lot of people are upset with just like they're calling Dante dumb. Which I can understand. There are sometimes a lot of things where you're like, dude, come on, why don't you get this? It's like, this is kind of obvious. I don't think Dante acts like Nero, in my honest opinion. But again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I think it's pretty much Dante. It's definitely a different interpretation of Dante. It's a younger Dante, and a younger Dante is a lot more particular with fans. I think that's really what it comes down to. People are very possessive over young Dante, and like there's a way that people want you to do young Dante specifically, and if you don't do it perfect, it is what it is. Listen, I think it's okay so far. I'll obviously give my whole thoughts. I might do like a little review, maybe, if that's what people want, if people really want to know my thoughts at the end of once I finish. But I don't know. So far, 4 episodes in, I'm okay with it as its own standalone thing. But yeah, I mean, the criticism that everything that you guys are saying in chat, I completely understand, and I think is okay to say. The people that are like, Lady curses too much, or you know, Lady was so, Lady, I've seen the meme of like Lady's monologue in Devil May Cry 3 juxtaposed with Lady's monologue about Sparta in the show. And the funniest thing about that meme is like the introduction monologue of Lady is quite literally Lady after she has gone through all of her character development. Like this, like the lady that is like, I met the sons of Sparta, blah 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 blah, like yeah, like this is a lady who has gone through all of her character development at that point and is now recapping the events of the story. Whereas the lady that we're getting in the series, this is the lady who has not gone through any character development. But it is what it is. Listen, I think Mary is fine. I don't think it's like the people that are comparing it to DMC, I just don't agree with personally. I just don't agree with it. But that's just really it. That's just my opinion so far. Again, I still have 4 episodes to go through, so maybe I'll be proven wrong, and maybe I'll be like, damn, you know what? That's crazy. But some of the things I've seen, like people that were upset that they used, Nero's theme for Dante, they're just having fun with it. It was literally an excuse just to throw Devil Trigger in the series. I personally didn't think about it too much. So yeah, it's like when that's like, see how bad the series is, look at they used a different character's theme for another character. It's like, all right, come on. Devil Trigger's a banger. That's what I mean. It's a good song. It's a great song. Like, I don't think that ruins anything for me. Doesn't ruin anything at all for me. It shows more to me that the creators were willing to have fun, and have, and just make the kind of series that they wanted to do. Yeah. Did you like the show? Yeah, I'm only 4 episodes through, but I did enjoy it. Subhuman is cool, but it might have just not fit Dante at the moment. Yeah, Subhuman is definitely probably for a season 2 Dante. Sonic goes supersonic and they play All Hail Shadow. Well, I understand what you're saying, Prodigy, I guess, but I mean, I guess, does it depend? Like, does in All Hail Shadow, do they say, let's go Shadow, Shadow, you're the best hedgehog ever, Shadow, the name's named after him. Whereas like in Devil Trigger, I don't think there's anything specifically in that song where they're like, Nero, this is your song because Nero, you're fighting the best. Nero, you're the best. You know, Devil Trigger. I feel like it's kind of because like Devil Trigger is kind of like more of like a song for DMC 5, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just, again, this is what I mean, where it's like just different interpretations personally. Just really different interpretations of it. Like, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, I think like in certain instances, playing a person's theme song for another person can definitely be weird. But I think in a lot of different instances, it can be okay. Like, for example, like in Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, like Mahito's theme, the self-embodiment perfection, like that song, blah, 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 blah. Like, they play that for other moments in Jujutsu Kaisen that isn't just Mahito, right? You know? But again, like, it depends on that impact. Like going to, like, if someone was to get Orochimaru's theme from Naruto, I might feel some type of way about that. Like, I guess it really depends on the situation. So that's why I think you're definitely right. I definitely think, like I said, I definitely think in certain contexts, I agree with you. This isn't one, but I definitely see, like, there are, like, yeah, I agree with Book, like Bury the Light is much more of a personal song to Virgil than Devil Trigger is to Nero. I think Devil Trigger is still like a character-focused song. Like, I'm sure it's still Nero's theme song. But again, yeah, not to get too bogged down on this. Not to get too bogged down on it, you know, like I said, I definitely understand what you're saying. It makes sense. Because like I said, I definitely agree with you in certain contexts. I would get pissed if they did a Naruto movie and like, or like Naruto last movie and they gave Toneri like Orochimaru's theme song. I'd be like, all right, dude. So yeah, I just, like I said, yeah, I guess it just depends on how, like how you personally feel about it. But yeah. My theme song would be Thong Song. Yeah, Devil Never Cry is a great song. Devils Never Cry is an awesome song. Imagine pulling up to a fight and that plays. Biggest issue is honestly just Addy seems to not understand the core themes of DMC, and I would prefer they stuck more true to them. Maybe. Like I said, I mean, like, that's really where I feel like it's kind of like a litmus test, right? Or Roth, or whatever the fuck that you know, that test is. I don't even remember what it's called, where like you look at an ink blotch, what do you see? Is it a butterfly or is it a whatever, you know? Because yeah, like everything that I've seen so far tells me that like Adi and the team like loved Devil May Cry and wanted to make the most fun adaptation they could and enjoyed it and really, you know what I mean? Because apparently Adi Shankar got like, you know, it was completely supervised by the original creative team of Devil May Cry. They gave him extra context for certain characters that were never released to the public. Like, I'm pretty sure they gave him like Rorschach test. Thank you, Rorschach. They gave him like unreleased chapters of the Devil May Cry manga to help him better write the story. And again, everything was supervised by the original team. So like, I don't know. I think, like I said, I don't want to get stun locked on this. But yeah, it's everyone's, like I said, you're going to like what you're going to like. You're going to not like what you're not going to like. My theme song would probably be, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, I think. The Macarena song. I need to go back and watch the first Devil May Cry anime. It's been a while. But yeah, guys, with all of that being said, Jujutsu No Kaisen, what a interesting piece of history we have here. I mean, yeah, what more do I even say? Honestly, it's really just, you know, a joke at this point. How you gonna pull up and the milkshake song begin? Listen, while I'm beating your ass, you won't even know that the song is playing, okay? You're gonna be hearing I'm just kidding. Might have to blame Gojo for the Jujutsu no Kaisen creation. We can blame Gojo for everything. I'm sorry. I blame Gojo for everything. It's all Gojo's fault. The whole series is Gojo's fault. Let's be honest here. So yeah, Jujutsu no Kaisen, the new end. I don't even know what to say in conclusion to this, because this is just, it's just terrible. It's just actually awful. It's a joke at this point. After they changed nothing, it was a joke from the start. Yeah, no, you're not wrong at all. It is Toji's fault. Everything is Toji's fault. You're so right. I was nice in my review and gave it a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, besides like these very select few pieces of, you know, decent artwork in between, which again, you know, could be tracing, could be AI, there could be a lot of things, so I don't want to give it too much clout. It quite literally is just a retreading of the same events we've already seen, just a little bit differently. So they're definitely following in Attack on Titan no Requiem's footsteps here by doing this. I wonder how Attack on Titan no Requiem's doing. I wonder how that series is doing. You know? Wonder if that series got a new chapter out. These fan mangas are something else, man. Something else always. Nope. They still have not. But yeah, there's gonna be a whole video on that. I'm excited to do that. I'm very excited to talk about the Attack on Titan ending deniers. That's gonna be a whole video and a half. But I think I'm gonna do my Yuji is Yuji special grade video first, before we get into that, because that will be a good practice of using the green screen and everything. But yeah, everybody, thank you all so much for pulling up. I genuinely appreciate the love and support. It is, you know, always such a good time to go over this fucking ridiculous nonsense that is Jujutsu no Kaisen and these fan mangas. If someone has a good fan ending, please recommend it to me. Whenever I see stuff like this, it always genuinely makes me want to do my own fan ending. Maybe I need to start watching some videos from those people that do their own fan content. Like Daigo Knight does his own Naruto videos. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Would you guys want like like my interpretation of like an ending, or like my interpretation, like changing things around in the series? Is that something you guys would be interested in? Because I would love doing that. I would love doing that. And the thing is that mine wouldn't be from hate. Mine would just be out of just having as much fun as I possibly could with the characters that I love. Momo versus Mahito would be the final battle. Listen, my Jujutsu Kaisen versus Chimera Ants, my Demon Slayer in Shibuya, you know, Chainsaw Man in Shibuya, all those videos where basically you guys just allow me to do fan fiction. I love doing those videos. So yeah, maybe I'll do some research, see how those videos are made, see what people like to do. What was dropped on here? I didn't spill. Okay. I guess I spilled something on my keyboard. I thought I didn't, but I'm gonna have to clean that up. All right, but guys, I'll think about that. Well, I'll think about that. Let me knock out these next couple of videos that I'm doing. I'm gonna put in some major work into editing PBS Moons. And yeah, guys, give us some headcanon, bro. I would have to think about it, because I would have to think about what I would want to do. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to just do what this guy's doing and do the exact same thing. I would want to change everything. So I just have to think about it a little bit. Sounds sus. I know, what a weird way to end the stream, right? Saying something like that. I literally thought about that as soon as after it left my mouth. All right, but anyway, y'all, I will catch you guys later. Member stream later tonight, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Everyone have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night. You know I'm sending you that spirit bomb energy. Drink more water. You know, Go subscribe to the reaction channel. Go subscribe to the, second channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love. Peace and love.